the mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, July 29th, 2024. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign is surging with unprecedented speed as she eclipses fundraising records, gains popularity, and secures critical endorsements. Within a week of President Biden's withdrawal from the race, Jeff Murdoch reports Harris secured the Democratic Party nomination and closed the polling gap with former President Trump, the Republican nominee. Democrats who were disinterested in Biden have shown enthusiastic hope that she'll keep the White House and help the party take full control of Congress. The Democrats' late in the race substitution forced Trump and his allies to pivot to new lines of attack and adjust their strategy in battleground states. One of those strategies is to hit the vice president on immigration. Harris is now the likely Democratic presidential candidate, but Stephen Dinan reports her record on immigration and border security is shaping up as a potential liability. Republicans deride her as a failed border czar. They point to President Biden's designation of her in early 2021 as the administration's lead in stemming the flow of people coming into the U.S. illegally, particularly from Central American nations. Democrats say that's not fair. They say Biden never gave her charge over the border, and the task belongs to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. FBI Director Christopher Wray twice suggested in testimony to Congress last week that shrapnel may have bloodied former President Trump's right ear during a shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania, but the Bureau backtracked on that suggestion Friday night. Stephen Dinan reports the Bureau said in a statement what struck former President Trump in the ear was a bullet, whether whole or fragmented into smaller pieces, fired from the deceased subject's rifle. Wray's assessment during a House hearing contradicted the gunshot victim, the emergency room doctors who treated Trump, the former White House physician who had been tracking the case, and even the New York Times, which conducted an analysis of photos and audio and concluded that the first bullet fired grazed Trump's right ear. The U.S. intelligence community determined that TikTok censored speech on behalf of the Chinese government. Ryan Lovelace reports a legal brief filed on Friday in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia provided a rare glimpse into what American spies know about how the Chinese government uses TikTok. The brief found that intelligence reporting further demonstrates that ByteDance and TikTok Global have taken action in response to Chinese government demands to censor content outside of China. The revelation is sandwiched between heavy redactions, making it unclear precisely whom TikTok allegedly censored and what information the Chinese government wanted hidden. And finally, for-profit and nonprofit schools are increasingly going to court to oppose federal regulations they say the Biden administration is imposing because of ideological differences. Alex Sawyer reports Career Education Colleges and Universities, an advocacy group for for-profit schools, has backed litigation challenging the Biden administration's borrower defense provisions and changes to the bare minimum rule. Critics say those changes could force for-profit and nonprofit schools to close. The advocacy group represents for-profit trade schools that train aircraft mechanics, cosmetology professionals, and healthcare workers, among others. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.